Welcome to this episode of M3 Minutes, where M3's Chief Sales and Marketing Officer, Scott Watson, will chat with Hotel Equities Senior Vice President of Accounting, Eric McCarthy, about the 2+ decade partnership the two companies have and how M3 and its partners help hoteliers just like you. Take it away, Scott.
All right, Haley, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're here today, as Haley said, with Eric from Hotel Equities. But before we get into talking about M3 and Hotel Equities and all things hospitality, let's let the audience get to know you a little bit more. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Eric.
Sure. Thank you. I'm Eric McCarthy. I work at Hotel Equities. I'm the Senior Vice President of Hotel Accounting. On a professional side, I started off in hospitality at the age of 16. Starting off as a dishwasher, working my way up through the ranks, through restaurants as well as hotels, and eventually landing in accounting. Kind of one of those working in food and beverage, general manager kind of comes up to me and, likes me, doing the right thing, friendly, hospitality. But also I have really clean paperwork at the end of my shifts.
Very
So
nice.
suddenly I was in accounting.
Perfect.
The rest is all history after that. So I hold a degree in business with dual majors in economics and accounting from West Texas A&M University. Go Buffs!
Where's West Texas A&M?
It's in Canyon, Texas.
I've been everywhere, man, but I don't think I've been
I've been everywhere, man.
to West Canyon, Texas.
I have my CPA license in a few different states, and I also have my certified hospitality accounting executive from HFTP. On the personal front, I'm a father of 3. Over the years, I've had 25 children come through my house as foster children, and I was lucky enough to adopt my 3 joys today.
Wonderful. And they are
My 3
boys,
joys.
girls?
I have a daughter named Bella, and I have 2 sons, Hayden and Kaylin.
Very nice. How old are they?
10 is my daughter, and my 2 boys are 5 and 6.
Ooh, you got that right.
Well,
So they can
they
now
just had a birthday.
they can listen to the podcast.
Exactly. They just had a birthday, so I was like, oh, wait, did I get it right?
So you are here now
I
in
am.
Georgia?
I am.
Because
I've
when our
relocated.
paths first crossed, you were up in the Pacific Northwest. You've been an M3 client with some shape, form, or fashion for a number of years. So tell us about the move and kind of what brought you down here.
So I worked for the hotel group just outside Seattle, Washington. Worked there for about 6 years. And then they actually formed an alliance with Hotel Equities based here in Alpharetta,
Right.
Georgia. So I was recruited for my talent and expertise in accounting and my history with M3.
Right.
And so they promoted me and put me over a much larger portfolio, moving cross country with the kids. So,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about, Hotel Equities has been in the news everywhere over the last couple of years. Mergers, acquisitions, strategic partnerships. You've started a standalone food and beverage division. So give the audience a little glimpse on what Hotel Equities looks like today.
So today, Hotel Equities, we have 258 hotels spread across 46 states and provinces, going up into Canada as well. We have about 6,500 associates, which are the lifeblood
Absolutely.
of Hotel Equities. We have grown quite a bit over the years. So Hotel Equities was founded by Fred Cerrone, and he was one of the first 10 franchisees for Marriott. So we started off with about 10 hotels, we believe. It's kind of hard to believe that we've taken a company with just 10 hotels over the last, 25 years. and turn it into a 258 hotel company, and still growing.
Yeah.
So
Was that day hospitality back then?
I believe it was. I
Okay.
think that was the name of
Yeah.
it back then.
I believe that was the name, day hospitality, along with McKibben and a couple others, were the very first customers of M3
hmm
22 years ago. And it's amazing that as we look at our customers now, which numbers close to 1,000 customers with over 7,500 hotels, but we can look back at now Hotel Equities and MMI and McKibben and those first 3 or 4 pioneers that trusted us with their technology business. They're still customers today, but it's quite a feat to grow from 10 to
258.
256, 258.
258.
Okay, gotcha. So, I mean, how have you managed to do that? It doesn't just happen. There's hospitality companies all the time that we hear, oh, we're going to grow by 10 or 15, and we look a few years later and they're still where they were. So, how have you managed to do it, and how have you been able to manage the scalability?
So today, one of the big key factors that we have are the people.
Mm-hmm.
And we invest in our people,
Mm-hmm.
and then we also have 12 core values of Hotel Equities, our company.
Should I quiz you on those 12?
I could probably name most of them, but so no, don't quiz. But we do instill this in all of our associates,
Right.
at every level of the organization. Fred, the founder, still comes in and teaches the foundations class for new associates
That's
joining the
amazing.
company. So these 12 values, that we put in place with our associates, are really the guiding principles for them. So if we are following our 12 values, we know we're doing the right thing.
Right.
And then doing the right thing has multiple effects. We're going to do it right. We're going to take care of our customers. We're going to take care of our associates, and the value will come, the normal value chain that you hear about. So if we do all that right,
Mm-hmm.
then the growth comes organically. Right. Now, in the last few years, we've also changed the business model to and partnered with like-minded hotel companies, and I'm going to say like-minded and like-valued hotel companies, to join forces, and form these strategic alliances that kind of help all of us grow in the whole scheme of things. So in doing this, we actually pull in greater expertise into the mix. We pull more resources into the mix. We cherry pick. There's the best policy over there, and they have the best practice. Right. So let me pull all that in, which has an exponential effect on the whole organization. Right. The whole alliance. So in doing that, we've grown even more significantly. So we have a combination of alliances that come in and brought in their hotels, as well as the organic growth, which is really surprising. Right. You do the right thing, the business will come. It will.
And we've tried to follow that same cultural pillar of doing the right thing for 22 years. And along those lines, you mentioned about best practices and like-minded people and like culture organizations. What has been one of the key things that's kind of kept the M3 partnership alive for the last 20 years?
So that's a good way to say it. Here's the thing. We've treated this relationship as a partnership. This is not a vendor and client relationship. This is a partnership between our two companies, and we exhibit that every day. I know that anytime, if I'm having a challenge, I could pick up the phone and have a rational conversation with anyone at any level of your organization, including you. I've picked up the phone and called you.
Yes.
And I know that I'll be listened to. We'll get to a solution in the end, and no one's defensive in the mix.
Right.
There's true learnings that happen, each time. And you guys have shown the same respect to me. Hey, maybe do this way instead.
Right.
You've demonstrated reaching out to me to get to be a pilot for new features that are coming out, to just brainstorm ideas. I had a phone call with Cassie a few weeks ago on, hey, we're thinking about this. Is this the right route we want to go? Does this really add value to a hotel or hospitality organization?
Right.
And so we approach everything as it's a partnership. It's not just a vendor client situation.
Great. And that's how we look at it as well. And it's interesting that Cassie called you and asked you that question, because one thing we do corporately is we're constantly looking for that value add to deliver to our customers. And if we can do it through our solutions, fantastic. If we can't, we try to find the best of breed partnerships that are out there that we can bring in through the M3 network. And usually there's a little something extra that those partners do for our customers because they're M3. And I know a couple of our partnerships that you've recently looked at is Adra by Trendtech and Paymerang's ePay solution. So tell me a little bit about those two programs, how you see yourself utilizing them, and what you think the value of those partnerships are going to be.
Okay, so I think both of them are very valuable, and I'm not sure how much time we have, but I sit here for a long time and talk about both of these things.
How much tape do we have on the VHS?
He said VHS.
Just thought I'd date myself.
Okay.
There.
So at least it wasn't Betamax. Paymerang. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to try to control my excitement here a little bit. Okay. So you brought Paymerang into the mix as a partner about, maybe 2 years ago now. And I was one of the first ones to sign up. Got that phone call, and it's like, hey, we have this new system. And, I'm always the first one, raise my hand, say, let's do it. I got the value proposition. I got the where it's going to benefit me. Let's look at this. Okay. So for anyone who doesn't know, Paymerang is a payment processor. So today, when I do a check run in M3, checks kind of spit out the printer, off here to the side someplace. So instead, with the Paymerang partnership, it actually spits out a little data file that goes to Paymerang. So no checks here. So I've now saved check printing costs, check stock, envelopes, postage, stuffing checks. Right. And as you can imagine, at 200 hotels, law checks. And it goes to Paymerang. And Paymerang handles it. I don't have to worry about, that added expense, that labor associated with it. But to top it off, they work with the vendors to pay the vendors the way they want to be paid. So via ACH, via credit card, kind of last resort as a check, because, no one wants checks in the system anymore. Right. And so my vendors are happy. My vendors are getting paid faster. And my bank recs are even easier now because I just have one amount out of my bank account.
Right.
And in the process, putting on my accounting hat here, I've now transferred the liability of fraudulent checks and wash checks and positive pay situations over to Paymerang, and they're best in class doing this. I also have to tell you, I've had a situation with Paymerang that at first I was very alarmed about, but I actually got a phone call from Paymerang saying, hey, we think you have some fraud happening at one of your hotels. Not the phone call anyone wants.
Right.
So, but in the time they discovered it, I had a phone call to me within 2 hours after they'd done a ton of research. They actually called the Secretary of State for that state. They actually called the local city to find business licenses. They actually took a Google Maps satellite shot of the location on, on the address, and presented it all to me. So, good news, it was all good. It was a real vendor, just, kind of those odd situations. But gosh, did I feel good that someone was looking at it,
Right.
and someone caught it, and someone called me before they called anyone else to alert them to a potential fraud. So, the fraudster couldn't try to cover anything
Right.
up if that was the case. So it just made me feel, gosh, someone is looking at my stuff.
Right.
And you can't beat that. You get a rebate back
Absolutely.
from Paymerang for every credit card that they're able to pay a vendor with, and not just like, let me fax in the credit card.
Right.
They actually log into websites. They'll actually pick up the phone and do the touch tones to pay all this stuff. So even beyond any of the other vendors that we had looked at in the past. So I couldn't be happier with Paymerang.
Fantastic. So it lessens your potential of fraud,
Absolutely.
streamlines the back office, outsources all the AP, reduces hard cost on producing checks and all of those type of things, and a little spiff of cash back for Hotel Equities at the end of every quarter.
Exactly.
Wonderful. So it's hard to top that. So tell me about ADRA by Trintech.
Okay, ADRA. Okay, I'm going to get a little excited here. Okay, so we signed that agreement about the same time that M3 joined with ADRA. We kind of went through due diligence together. We went through solutioning together, and truly like crossed the finish line together.
Right.
With it. So ADRA by Trintech, ADRA by Trintech, good tongue twister. They have two modules that we use today at Hotel Equities. The first one is called Balancer. It's a balance sheet reconciliation tool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to tell you, just like every other, I don't want to say every, that's a wrong broad brush. So most hotel companies out there, we did balance sheets the old fashioned way. We had an Excel spreadsheet and a tab for each account, and we listed every item on each tab. Well, as we grew, it's very hard to look at every single account, every single hotel. I would sit there all day and do nothing but look at balance sheets,
right.
And stuff's just going to slip through the cracks when you do that. So the good thing about Balancer system, so it uploads the trial balance from M3, which is coming automated very soon. I'm being told. I might hold you to it.
Okay.
Okay. So we upload the trial balance out of M3. It automatically reconciles a lot of the stuff for us. It has workflow. It has system certifications. It retains attachments and that type of stuff. So all of my accountants have been able to complete their reconciliations much faster than they ever have in the past. Faster is not always better.
Right.
Okay. So to me, timeliness of reconciling items is really, and accuracy are really my two big big rocks. Well, it has helped me with that side too. So instead of being focused on the minutia of every individual account,
right,
it actually flags me either through dashboards or reports of basically, hey, look here, red light, danger, danger.
Right.
Because it shows me the aging of items, the here's the high risk account that the balance hasn't changed in 4 months or whatever parameters I want to put in there. It's actually helped me to streamline, and I feel more comfortable. I could sleep at night knowing my balance sheets are clean when it comes to that. And I will tell everyone, my favorite report in there is an actual aging. So just like you'd have an aging for accounts receivable or accounts payable, there's an aging for the balance sheet that tells me here's reconciling items, things that need to be cleared that are 30 days past and 60 days past and 90 days past. So I can watch that and make sure things are being cleared timely.
Right.
My favorite report in that system. Not gonna lie. It really focuses me. So the second module that we have in ADRA is called close management, or I'm sorry, it's called task manager. And we use it for close management. And I'm not going to lie, we have been able to, shave time off of our close cycle in just the few months we've had it implemented. So the way we use it today is everyone who touches month-end close at all is in the checklist with their things assigned to them. Whether it is the general manager at the hotel, whether it's an accountant on my team, whether it's the senior vice president of operations, someone from payroll, whoever is going to touch accounts, touch the closing at any point, they're in this checklist. So once we kick off the checklist, things start to cascade down. And as one thing gets finished, it alerts the next person that has a dependent task to, you're ready. And it tracks the whole thing through, complete with attachments and like, this is how you do individual tasks. So, and that's important, that individual descriptions of how to do things, because as I'm working through close, I can watch this dashboard and it tells me, wait, something is falling behind.
Right.
I'm able to drill down into it and see who's running behind for whatever reason. And I can reallocate items and I can say, hey, John, jump in and help over here because they're falling behind. And I'm not saying we're falling behind like 2 or 3 days. I could see we're falling behind a few hours.
Right.
And be able to fix it immediately. So I'm not getting to the end of close going, oh, shoot, I have a couple of hotels over here that are way behind. So it has actually allowed me to shave closing down. We've also used the same tool to look at the progress and the time it takes to do things. And we noticed that general managers kept getting hung up on this one report. And so we were able to identify it now because it's all in the system. We can see it. We can, we know where this problem is. So now we're able to look at it and fix it, whether we have to change the process, whether maybe we can automate this report. Maybe we can, do we even need the report? In some cases we found we were doing steps we didn't even need. So in doing that, we've been shaving off time off our closing. And it seems like each month we use it, we're getting a little bit better at it. And so I'm looking forward to getting down to that, really short close. I'm not going to say how long yet.
Well, good. Well, we've touched a little bit on ADRA, a little bit on Paymerang. So as we drift toward the final few minutes of the podcast, we talked earlier about being with M3 for 20 years. Obviously, things are done differently than they were 2 decades ago. So what are some ways that M3 makes your job easier day to day?
So I'm going to pull examples from the food and beverage world at the moment. Okay. So
as you do that, I'll give you a free plug for 33 Degrees.
Okay.
So tell us why you're able to pull examples from the food and beverage world.
So I'll tell you, this is where I think M3 is not recognized as a real player, and I think it's a shame. We need to put this out there a little bit more. So M3 is a hospitality system. Okay. Well, everyone automatically assumes that is hotels.
Right.
We took an approach that's like, well, let's use it for the restaurant world. And so 33 Degrees is one of our entities within the Hotel Equities family. one of a couple that
Mhm.
that we do food and beverage through. And 33 Degrees is it's 33 Degree Entertainment, actually, I should say. Okay. So this is where we do freestanding restaurants. This
Right.
is where we have uh, event centers, conference centers, and we this is where we also house our kind of a new thing in the world, our eatertainment. So eat, entertainment,
Very
entertainment.
nice. I get it.
See,
I did go to Arkansas, but I get it.
that's why we get along. So
Uh,
it houses our entertainment division as well, and so um, think venues that have a restaurant component as well as entertainment. So we have uh, kind of that speakeasy
mhm.
concept called Roaring Social, based here in Alpharetta. We do have a golf simulator restaurant
Right.
called Fairway Social. We are opening a whole bunch of others, Pickle and Social, and for those pickleball players out there,
Yeah.
big thing
My
here in the South.
wife is a pickleballer.
Yeah. So, um, but we started using M3 for that. Well, it surprised a lot of people that there is actually a uniform system of accounts for the restaurants put out by the National Restaurant Association, uh, currently in our 8th edition. So we took the time and we built out that chart of accounts in M3 and started using it, and it works wonderfully. The other, I have to tell you, one of the big game changers that came along in M3 in the last year or so was your partnership with Avero
Mhm. Pulling in the
and
POS
pulling
data.
in the POS data. So the good part is, with one interface pulling in from any POS out there.
Right.
I said any,
Almost any.
almost
Yeah.
any POS system out
We can
there.
say any and we'll put an asterisk by it.
Okay, that
There you
works. That works. So we can pull in any POS data from any system
Mhm.
and do our daily reports. Well, then that just fits into all the other pieces of M3 that works really well.
Mhm.
Whether it's the OCR of the invoices through intelligent imaging, or the automated bank recs, coming from my daily report, it knows and will
Right.
clear things, to the budget and forecast module. So it's really started working well for us. And so we've started putting this in all of our food and beverage outlets. And listen, Hotel Equities is not too shabby on the food and beverage side too. I mean, we do like
Right.
96 million a year.
Wow.
We have 33 signature venues.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah,
I should have.
yeah, we have 33 signature venues, as well as our entertainment divisions and standalone restaurants. And we have conference centers and event centers, and so Hotel Equities is not through all of its little
Right.
sister organizations and entities. Um, we have a wide range of products out there.
Yeah.
So, and I tend to use M3 for everything I can.
Well, we greatly appreciate it. And as we wind things up, we've used a lot of words to describe M3 and our partnerships. If you could skinny it all down into one or two, what's the best word to describe M3 or your relationship with M3?
I'm going to say partner. Okay. Always willing to listen, always willing to improve together, and always willing to grow together.
Great. Well, thank you very much. We've appreciated Fred's support over the years, Carlos's support over the
Mhm.
years, and now yours as you continue to be our partner in the partnership. We welcome you to M3. I know it's not your first visit here, but I'm looking forward to showing you some of the new places we have here in the office. And we could not be happier and more humbled by a 2-decade-long partnership with Day Hospitality and Hotel Equities. So thank you very much for coming by today, Eric.
No problem. Thank you.